All right, y'all, and I'm back. Yeah, I had some. I don't know. I had a conversation with my husband. He's in. We're doing some things, y'all. I know I said I'm going to come back and talk about friendships. So that's what we're going to be talking about on this live friendship. We're going to start off on friendship. Who knows where we're going to go? My daughter asked me to help her make some doctor's appointments, so I have to do that. And I really have to work hard on managing my time. I need to do better. But with this whole situation that I'm going through with my husband, and I've talked to you, a couple of you guys, and those of you who have been on the live, you understand what we're going through. I haven't been filming videos so much, so I haven't really filmed any videos with an agenda. I don't think I ever have filmed videos with an agenda. Something just pops in my head, and then I start talking about it. Hey, Yvonne. But yeah, I haven't really talked about what's going on in my relationship outside of live. So those of you who are like, what's going on? Because I've shared all of this stuff. So, what's going on? Let's keep up with it. Hey, friend. I just be saying friends because I can't read Alita's life. Alita. I just don't want to mess up y'all's names. So, hey, friend. Anyway, so I haven't really been keeping you guys up to date with what's going on in my marriage. But there's a lot going on, and I see some changes that are going on with my husband, and I honestly believe that the changes have happened. First of all, did you end the live, or it was just me? I ended it. See, what I do is I go live Monday through Saturday, 12 p.m. noon Mountain Standard Time, to read the Bible. And then at the end of the Bible study, I'll end that live, and then I'll come back live because, my lives always get reported. My lives always get, disconnected because I smacked my lips too hard, and it went against community guidelines. So they'll just delete my live. And so I don't want to lose my Bible study. Those are important to me. So I try to keep those as PG as possible so that I can make it through my hour and keep my content. Now, when I come on the second time and I just be popping my stuff, y'all just got to be on the live to catch it, because chances are 9 times out of 10 they're gonna delete it, and I've gotten over it. You know how people try to have such a presence in your life. People don't like something, so they make it their life mission to get rid of it. There's a chick who used to, comment on all my things on Facebook, where I saw her face, and Spirit just said, she's going to become one of your enemies. And because I met this person through my husband, I went to my husband and I was just like, so-and-so is going to be one of the people who hate on me. Once my platform blows up, she's going to be one of the people who makes a platform going against me. You know what I'm saying? Because think about some of your biggest haters in life used to be friends. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say this individual was a friend, but when I said that to my husband, he automatically took offense because I met this person through him. So I'm saying that he is associated with certain people that do certain things. I was like, everything ain't about you. I'm just saying this to you because, and this is when I learned I can't really talk to my husband because he gets offended to things. And so that's why I was just like, well, I can't talk to you because everything I say, you want to filter it through such a negative perspective. But you have to understand that we're trained to see things negatively. I remember my mom, I remember Bailey saying, Mom, you just have a worst case scenario perspective. And I was like, okay, I received that, but I also know that I need to heal through that. So really stopping and thinking before speaking and doing things. And we can't acknowledge worst case scenario, but we also can acknowledge the possibilities of things that can go the right way, because we need to start speaking and thinking and believing and receiving for things to go favorably for us. And so restructuring and retraining myself. I'm in training. I'm learning different martial arts movements. No, I'm not going to become a martial artist at all. But I'm learning all these different movements, and they all have different names, like tiger's claw, crane beak, willow palm, all these different things, doesn't matter. So you have all these different names for different things, and it's just like, I'm never gonna remember all of these things. But if you think about, as you're learning new things, you're learning a new language, and how important it is for you to pick up the language, the different terms. So now you're not, these are dampas, they're not hands, they're dampas. And because I look at it from the point of, I'm learning a new language, then now I can remember these are dampas, instead of, oh, this is just something else to remember. But also because I am retraining myself in the way that I speak, because I realize that I no longer have low self-esteem, but I still have the language of low self-esteem. So realizing that I need to change the way that I speak, and speak in an elevated space. I said to someone, I was like, oh, you were just pulling a trick. And they were like, I reject that language. And I was like, well, I don't mean trick in a negative way. I'm just like using the word trick, but just the energy around the word trick is not the energy you want around you. So it's not even how you intend the word that you're using, like NIGGA. It's not even the intention behind the word. It's the energy associated with the word. So yes, maybe we have taken the N word and made it a word of endearment in our community, but that does not take away the decades upon centuries of negative energy associated with that word. If you guys are on the Bible study, you understand when I'm talking about energy, when I talked about the energy in your bed. Same thing with these different words. So I am working the N word out of my vocabulary. I remember Angel was like, Mom, you shouldn't say that word. But it didn't resonate with me. We have to understand true change comes from when something resonates with you. So when it finally started resonating with me, which is recently, to stop using the N word, I was just like, oh, okay, now I understand. I am tapping into that energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the energy that I want to tap into. Now, I am going to create a t-shirt, because my daughter came up with the phrase, and I was like, that's hilarious. And I was like, but I'm not going to do it because that's lower vibrational energy. But, I came into a space where I was just like, you know what? I am going to do it because I'm not high vibrational all the time. I like to shift back into my humanity too. And being human is fun. Living in my spiritual space is what's going to keep me elevated and moving forward. But popping back into humanity and having a few keys is fun. So I wanted to talk about friendship, but I was going to ramble, my mouth a little bit until the people who may have been interested in hearing about friendship showed up. So that's why I'm sitting here rambling about a little bit of nothing. But something, I'm always saying something. That's the beautiful thing about it is, even though I'm not talking on a particular subject, I'm talking about something, and I'm working my brain muscles. Something that I've been doing since the beginning of the year is keeping a timeline, a daily timeline of events that happen in my day. And it's funny because it's whenever we implement a new practice, it may or may not stick, right? And so when I'm implementing this practice of keeping a timeline of what's going on, I fell off like the end of January. But it's really cool because when things that are happening in my life present day, and I'm just like, oh man, I remember when I met this person, or I remember when this happened. Like this job that I'm working right now, I can say on this date I went to class, but even I could jump that back to, before class, I remember meeting this person, and then even before meeting this person, I remember what landed me in the position to meet this person. So if you keep a timeline of events of your life, you can really walk your life back and see how things transpire and see that nothing is happenstance. So me having this job is because I was standing in a backyard and people were having a conversation about a work opportunity, and I was present for it. Well, how was I present for it? Because I showed up to class. Well, how did I show up to class? Because I met a particular individual. How did I meet this particular individual? I had to go to a particular place. How did I end up in this place? Because I was sitting on a street corner. So if we keep a timeline and we just document, just whatever significantly stands out in our minds at the end of a day, then we can start seeing the trends in our lives, and we can see how we are being guided and things are being set up.
Mommy?
Yes, dear.
You see the bubble?
I see the bubbles.
What is it?
What is it?
What is it?
What's in it? The bubble wand.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's talk friends. My first belief, I haven't dropped the video yet, but there's a clip of Whoopi Goldberg where she's talking about how you cannot be your child's friends because they can't understand what you need to do as an adult. And so you have to keep a very clear separation between you and your child because you can't be their friends. What I believe to be the misunderstanding is there's a difference between being a friend to your child. Stop it before you pull those down. Please stop before you pull them down. Thank you. I think there's a difference between being a friend to your child and being one of your children's little friends. And what's the funny thing is, yesterday I was talking to Bailey, or the day before, and she was like, man, I really want to tell Dre, I'm not one of your little friends. Don't talk to me like I'm one of your little friends. I was like, that's funny because adults don't look at it from that perspective. Yes, child, don't talk to me and treat me like I'm one of your little friends. Because the way that you move with your friend group is different than you move with your mom or your dad. But also, from our child's perspective, don't talk to me sideways because I'm not one of your little friends. Like, don't talk to me, mom or dad, like I'm one of your little friends. So it really was funny when Bailey was like, I really want to tell Dre, don't talk to me like I'm one of your little friends. I was like, man, if we stop talking to our children like they were one of our little friends, hey, Regina, and she said, hi, how you doing, friend? You know, if we stop talking to our children like they were one of our little friends, we would filter a lot of the things that we say to our children out. If we actually took the care necessary to protect those relationships, we would stop being so willy-nilly with the things that we say. And that's the same with our intimate relationships and our spousal relationships. If we actually protected those relationships, we would stop being so frivolous with the language that we use in the treatment of others. All right, so the basis of friendship for me, it's rolled out in waves. The first thing that I realized was we learn how to be girlfriends or boyfriends or spouses in a relationship. We learn how to be friends, all of those things on the playground. That's our first experience in friendshipness. And so if that is our first experience in being a friend, then our quality of friendship at that point is only as good as our friendshipness that we come into the friendly with. Thank you, Danny. Is as good as the friendship that we come into the friendship with, right? I know how to be the friend that I know how to be based on the friendship that I am. The friend that I am. You know, how I think friendship works, right? Now, the people that we come in contact with, we're not vetting our friends. We're just allowing anyone to be our friend. You know, we're sitting in class and we're looking around. Who's the other girl in the room? We're looking around. Who's the other person that's the same ethnicity as me? We're looking around. Who's the girl? Oh, we have the same shoes. We're looking around and we're seeing like people, not like-minded people. Physically, that is what is attracting us to our first friends. And so we go in that physical attraction. Oh, we have this in common because I can see it. But when we start talking, because we don't know, we don't have a spirit of discernment as children because we are not developing our children's spirits of discernment. So our kids are allowing anyone to filter in because kids all like the same things. You like to go to the jump park? Me too. So now we're building our friendships based on those superficial things instead of our children knowing that we got to start vetting people off top. Everybody does not gain entry, period. So we're making these friends, and yeah, this person ain't talking the way that I like to talk, but you know, chances are if they're lower vibrational things that they're doing and saying, our kid, who society tells us being the good kid or the smart kid or the kid that follows the rules isn't cool, our kid is now going to be negatively influenced because they want to be cool. The bad thing is cool. Think about it. The bad kids were cool. The kids that didn't follow the rules were cool. The kids that did follow the rules were the ones on the outside that nobody liked. We don't want to be on the outside and nobody like us, so we're going to not follow the rules as well. So the key in that is when you're raising your children, you raise them to where they can truly rise above the influence. They can be in it, but not of it. But anyway, so we're on the playground and we're building our friendships, and these are all proximity friends. Those of you who are familiar with the content, you understand what is going on here. Close relation friendships. These are proximity friendships. These are friendships that are based on the fact that we are in the same space at the same time. We ain't got nothing in common, but shoot, you're all I got. So these are our first bases of friendships. This is the first place that we start accepting whatever we can get as friends. And we sell ourselves short, be like, well, accept people for who they are. No, don't accept nobody for nothing. If somebody ain't giving you what you need, get the fuck on. I ain't got time for nobody not giving me nothing I need. There is a person that I'm around and I'm silent around them because I refuse to feed into anyone who cannot feed into me. I refuse to have idle conversation. Idle conversation, and now I know why. Because it's depleting. It's an energy depleter. But before, I refused to have idle conversations. Why? Because it drains me. Like, very little drains me because, like, my energy flow, I'm here to do this, so I'm going to be able to do this nonstop. You know what I'm saying? But, you can come in. There are certain circumstances and certain situations that deplete me energetically. And so this person that I'm around, they want to have the topic go, so how's your day? What's your favorite color? What do you like to do in your free time? I'm like, sit on my bed and talk to my camera. That's what I like to do for fun. It's silent. So this person has been around me multiple times, and I understand that they're trying to build a friendship with me, but I'm done being in friendships that I don't want. I'm not going to be your friend simply because you want a friend. I'm sorry. Go find somebody who wants a friend and who's going to be a friend because they want a friend. It's not me. I'm done sacrificing myself for other people. And so when I'm around this person, I'm never talking because they don't have any topics that I want to talk about. Same thing with my husband. As we're going through this restructuring and reprogramming, he comes and he says, how you doing? Fine. How was your day? Fine. What did you do? Talk to the camera. Because he's not interested in going into the depths that make me tick. So I'm going to give him bare minimum. Like, I'm only going to let you deplete me so much until you come to my way. I'll talk about my day because that's the topic you want to talk about. But we're going to talk about it my way, which means we're going to dig into it and actually decipher what the hell went on during the day. What made it a beautiful day? Why did it make it beautiful? How did that grow you? How did you reach your highest potential? What can you do differently? These are the types of conversations I want to have. And if you don't want to have those type of conversations, you don't have access to me. I don't have time for it. But there's millions of people out there that you could talk to that want to have surface conversations. So go over there. I'm not being mean. I'm just protecting my peace. So anyway, the reason why I bring this individual up, because they came around me when I was around people who know how to have conversations the way that I want to have conversations. And I was just running my mouth. Like I'm running my mouth on live right now. I just running my mouth. And a part of me felt bad because I was like, this person has spent all this time with me and I've maybe said 5 words. And now they come into this space and they see me communicating with all these other people and my energy's completely different. I'm talking completely different. I'm laughing and I'm animated and I'm a completely different person around these people. So now I am thinking in my head, I'm like, dang, how is this impacting this person? Like, see, this is how I process life. How are my behaviors in this present moment? Thank you, Regina. How are my behaviors in this present moment making this person feel? Now it is for me to discern. It's probably making them feel messed up. Do I shrink myself to make them feel better? No, fuck that. You better figure out how to talk to me. If you want to be around me, this is demonstrating for you what my friend circle looks like. So if you want to join my friend circle, you're going to have to level yourself up. Anybody who wants to be around me, guess what? You have to elevate to be around me. Why? Because I'm always elevating. You understand? So it's not for you to shrink yourself down in order for people to feel comfortable. It's for people to elevate. And you're helping them anyway, right? Whether me and this person never talk again, the fact that they elevated themselves to be able to hang around me means that they gonna walk away winning, period. The friendship wasn't the goal. It's the elevation. It's the lessons. It's the learning. I feel it too, friend. So anyway, we are told by society what friendship looks like. There's all these depictions of what friendship looks like. And so we go and try to seek that, and we want these friendship circles, and they're like 4 or 5 people deep, and everybody there's a leader. Something that I realized in this recent friendship, and I'm gonna be jumping around, y'all. In this recent friendship that I have been developing, we all choose what we're going to do. So our first activity is something that I wanted to do because I opened up the door for us to actually start hanging together. So, hey, I'm hosting an event. Would you like to attend? So now we're all hanging out. We're all vibing together. We're all deciding, okay, can we come together a second time? Some people will decide yes. Some people will decide no. And that's okay. All right. So y'all decided we're going to do something again. So the next thing we do, somebody in the group suggests it. And then we go and do that, whether we want to or not. That's how I ended up on the side of a goddamn mountain. I was like, I don't want to go hiking. But this person that I value wants to go hiking. So if I want to spend time, I'm going to have to elevate myself in order to be in their space. So I have to do something I don't necessarily do in order to be in their space. And I'm better for it. Like, I think my booty grew a little bit climbing that mountain. You know, I felt it. So I think my booty, I got some gains. So then we think about, so there's 3 of us, right? So the first time I suggested, the second time the other person suggested, now the third person gets to suggest something, and we go do what they want to do. The reason why I bring that up is because in a lot of relationships and a lot of friendships, the reason why people are having difficulties is because one person is a ringleader, and that person is always telling everybody what we're doing. And everybody has to follow along because, well, so-and-so is the most dominant personality. So-and-so is the most cool person in the group. So if I go against that, I don't get to hang out, and I want to hang out. So you are hanging out for association. You are not hanging out because you feel valued. You are not hanging out because you feel anything except for what the association is giving you. You understand? So as you are making your friends, make sure that you are hanging out with people who see you, who value you, and allow you to have a face and a voice in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And that same thing in your, and then this is something else that I received as far as intimate relationships. As far as intimate relationships go, your first best friend is setting you up for your relationships. Your best friend, aside from romantic feelings, is treating you. The reason why that person is your best friend is they are treating you the best. They're your best friend, right? You're my best friend. How are they your best friend? Because they're treating you the best. They're treating you better than everyone else. So now you can start basing your expectations for your relationship on what you accept from a best friend. What is the best you deserve to be treated? Look at how you're being treated by your best friend. And if your best friend is not treating you the way that you deserve, now it's time for you to be able to go to your best friend, because we don't have all this between us, right? If you can't go to your best friend and say that this is bothering me, or I would like the way that you change, the way that you speak to me and treat me, you got this between you. And when you're thinking about what a best friend is to you, is this what best friendery looks like? If it does, then boom, keep moving in that energy. But for me, best friendery looks like this. I want to be this freaking close to you. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to say whatever I want to say. Not because I'm being offensive and hurtful, because that is what me and my husband historically have been. We would say the most crazy things to each other, and it was okay because, you know, he's the person that I chose to be able to say those things. When Angel comes home and she's like, oh my gosh, so-and-so said such and such. I was like, yeah, because so-and-so wants to be your friend but doesn't know how to be your friend. And they see your actual friend speaking to you that way. And they're just trying to, maybe I could tell the joke too. We allow people to be rude as fuck to us because we allowed it. And the people who we don't allow, they say the exact same thing and we're offended. We have to determine the vibration that we want to move in. You know what I'm saying? Talking about my nose, something people used to make fun of. I don't know why. I like my nose. I didn't when I was younger. I used to, talk about the self-hate. And this man was married to a white woman, so explains a lot. This man, my dad's girlfriend's father, I did a stint living with him. I think I lived with him for a year. I'm sure I never went to this man in vulnerability about my features. But this man used to tell me, if you go like this every day, you will shape your nose. So he would have me do this in the mirror every day so I could get a more nose. Talk about the self-hate, right? This is what was fed into me as a child. So these are deficits that we have to come back from as Black women and men and as humans. But why did I bring my nose up? I don't know, but I like it now. I used to hate it. I wish my nose was smaller. It doesn't match my face. I didn't actually like my nose until I read an article. My face, I always thought it was cute. Now, I always thought it was cute, y'all. But it was more superficial cute. It wasn't self-love cute. Two different things. One of the things that helped me come into the space of appreciating myself was I read an article that said the standard of beauty is actually a big forehead, small eyes, big lips, and whatever the nose. Anyway, I have the features, the symmetry. I have the features and the symmetry, which I was just like, well then shoot, I'm cute. That helped me come into a space of being okay with my face. That was a little self-love something, but sometimes it takes things outside of us to be able to appreciate ourselves because it took things outside of us for us to hate ourselves. We're not born in a space of hate. We're not born onto this earth of looking at ourselves in the mirror and thinking there's something wrong with us. Somebody, probably someone we look like, was the first person to introduce self-hate into us. And because the person who looks like us is a person who was either in authority, because historically, respect was not earned, it was just given. So if you were an adult, whether you have done anything respectable or not, I respect you. So now I am hearing these hateful messages of self from someone that I respect. And now it's shaping how I see myself. So we are digging ourselves so deeply out of a pit. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the love, Vonnie Von Von. So let's get into being our kid's friend first. So when Whoopi Goldberg said, don't be your kid's friend, and she was like, I didn't become my kid's friend until she was 26. And the other lady who apparently has younger children on the panel was like, you mean I gotta wait till my kid's 26 to have a relationship with her? And Whoopi was like, yeah. I was like, you just spread a misinformation, and then all these people in the audience cheering, and then all these people who respect your opinion are listening to this bullshit. I was like, this the motherfucker with the platform? This the motherfucker leading the community? Now, I'm not hating on Whoopi, but in this particular area, you missed the mark because you're just perpetrating and replicating misinformation, the same bullshit that has gotten our community in the place that it is today. You can't be friends with your kids? What up, Ion? You can't be friends with your kids? This is the result of not being a friend to your child. So if this is what you want, definitely don't be your kid's friend. But if you want something different, my friend's mom died when she was 13 years old. If her mom waited until she was 26 in order to be friends with her, her mom would have died. She would have never been a friend to her child. So for us to sit here and think, I can teach you later. Oh, we'll get to that later. What if later never comes? What if later never comes? And you don't have to be so permanent as death. What if you get a divorce and you're not in the home with your child every day? So those lessons you had an opportunity to feed into your child day after day, now you just got the weekends. Now you got 3 out of 4 days to do it. So stop taking tomorrow for granted when you are establishing a child. That is what we are doing. We are establishing our next generation. Do you understand? This is how the wealthy do it. They actually raise, right or wrong. I'm not saying what the hell they're doing is right, but they're actually breeding and shaping and creating the next generation. And that is exactly what we need to be doing in our household. A plan without a plan is a plan to fail. We need to have plans in our homes. What is the outcome? What is the goal? Hey, Kendra. So when Whoopi said that, I was just like, well, that's misinformation. What she was saying was, once my kid becomes an adult and switches into adult mentality, now she can understand why I did the things that I did. Well, you did the things that you did because you only know how to control based on the way that you know how to be controlled, or you know how to control, which is replicating slave mentality in our homes. You have to understand, when they enslaved us, it's always going to go back to slavery. I'm sorry, it is, because we're still slaves. I am embodying the energy of Harriet Tubman. I am freeing the slaves in 2024. We are no longer here. We no longer got to duck and go through the swamps and stuff like that and hide in the bushes. We ain't got to do that. We just got to do this. And we are so far gone that I could have saved so many more if they would have even known they were slaves. Because so many of y'all don't even know that you're slaves. I just woke up to it. But I've known because I've always talked about slavery. Now I'm talking to it like, yo, we're actually slaves. And it's crazy. It's probably on a video where I'm having a conversation. I'm like, we're still slaves. Like the aha moment. You know what I'm saying? Because think about how we raise our homes and how Whoopi Goldberg is saying it's not until my child becomes an adult and she realizes I raised her the way that I had to raise her, because we came from, I don't know everyone's generation, but I came from the generation, I was raised by the generation that was raised to stay alive. The generation that raised me was the generation was stay in line or lose your life. My husband's grandmother lost one of his children, her children, sorry, because her child was playing with the little white girl on the block. And the white father didn't want the child to play with his child, and so he killed the child. So that's 2 generations. We are 2 generations away from don't look at them, don't talk to them, cross the street when they walking down the street, put your head down. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You can't eat here. We are 2 generations away from that energy. I'm not saying the timeline. No, actually, that was 19. That was 18. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my husband's grandmother. Child was shot dead on the sidewalk in Gary, Indiana, because she was playing with a little white girl. So I don't care what the history books say. I'm telling you, we were raised by the generation that was like, stay in line or die. And that is the replication of the slave master's plan, to keep us in line. They keep us disconnected. Anyone who has a dream or a vision, they get taken out by their own, which is the plan. Before a messenger can actually rise, their own will take them out. And that's the plan. All right. So for Whoopi to say, my 26-year-old can finally understand why I did the things that I had to do as a parent. Why did you have to do those things? Because that is the only technique that you knew to use. And where did you learn that technique? You learned it from the generation that was stay in line or die. Where did they learn that technique? They learned it from the generation that, and where did they learn that technique? They learned it from the generation that, and where did they learn that technique? They learned it from the generation that was, they were slaves. They were property. They had no rights. And so each generation, we're replicating that mentality, that disconnection from source, that self-awareness, that self-hate and loathing. When I'm in the mirror doing this, trying to shriek the base of my nose, we're replicating that generation after generation. And that's why your kid can't understand why you did what you had to do until they're 26, because now they have children. And they're like, I don't know how to raise it. I just happen to have this book, not the Bible. It's just a book that I have. Let me flip to the page where it says, okay, this is how you get your kids to fall in line. You yell at them, you talk stupid to them, you beat on them if necessary. But you show them you love them by taking care of them. I'm going to provide all of these different things for you. I'm going to read the chapter that I opened my book on, the Bible on. This is Proverbs chapter 18. An unfriendly person pursues selfish ends, and against all sound judgment starts quarrels. Foolish find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in airing their own opinions. Ooh, I can't wait till we get to Proverbs, y'all. This is gonna be good. Ooh, I hope y'all still here for Proverbs, because this is already giving me chills. Do you see that I just opened my Bible up to this, and this is literally talking about what we're talking about? This is how we're being led through life. I love that I'm able to capture this stuff on camera, because I really believe that if you guys can witness it happening, you can start believing it for yourself. This is the stuff they tell us not to believe in. I literally opened my Bible, and I said before I opened it, I'm just grabbing the Bible. No. Spirit has a message. Spirit wants to enter the chat. So let me read this until it stops making sense. Fools, hold up, where are we at? Fools find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in airing their own opinions. Airing people out, right? When wickedness comes, so does contempt, and with shame comes reproach. The words of the mouth are deep waters, but the fountain of wisdom is a rushing stream. It is not good to be partial to the wicked and so deprive the innocent of justice. The lips of fools bring them strife, and their mouth invite a beating. That was something. So when we're building these friendships up and these alliances and deciding who we are, we have to dig deep. Talk is cheap. Y'all translate that however you want to. I ain't got time to translate it, but that was a word. Let's see. That makes sense. My parents are from the South, and they raised me to stay out of the way. Yep, a child stays in his place. I've heard people say that they raised their children better than their parents did because I don't hit, but they yell and cuss their kids out. Exactly. They think just because I'm not beating on my kids like I was beat on, I don't talk to my kids. I actually was talking to a mother who was saying that her daughter came to her and her husband and was saying, we should try gentle parenting or something like that. And the mom and dad laughed her off. And she posted it on social media, And this was in the infancy of my child advocacy, or my healthy family advocacy. So, I felt that I should go and, be the voice of reason for the child, because the child is, if your child comes to you and says anything to you, first of all, this is the energy that most of us raise our children under. They ain't coming and talking to you about shh. That's why the streets is raising your kid. That's why when people find out their kid did something, they're like, my child? Yes, because this is the child you know. You don't know this child. The streets know your child, because you created a space of so much distrust that they can't even come to you with their raw emotions, because you're going to eat it up. You're going to tear them down. You're going to make them feel silly for having these feelings because I raised you differently. Clearly you didn't, or I wouldn't be experiencing this, or I would know how to process through, because you didn't raise me by telling me what to think. You raised me by teaching me how to think.
Mom, look.
Which is what we should be doing. Ooh, you guapped up. How much money do you have?
1,
Mm-hmm.
2,
Mm-hmm.
3, 4, 5, 6.
You have 6.
I have 6.
6.
6.
It.
It.
6.
6.
Yes, you have 6 coins.
6 coins.
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 Good job. All right, go play. All right, so we have to teach our children how to think, not what to think. And that's where we're missing the mark with our children, because we buy cutie pie because we are teaching them the right things. Don't do that, don't do that. But we're not teaching them what to do. And if we do teach them what to do, we're not teaching them philosophy behind it. Do you understand? If the philosophy is missing, the lesson is missing. So we're missing the mark. So when our kids go out here and do something, I didn't raise you that way because you didn't raise them. But anyway, kid comes to them and is like, we need to try gentle parenting, and the mom and the dad, they laugh her off. And so I hop in her DMs because we're friends, and I'm just like, well, if your child is coming to you and saying that they would like to see a restructuring take place, I'm not using this language at the time because I don't have the language. If they would like to see a restructuring and reprogramming take place, a reparenting take place, consider it. Don't laugh them off. You're like, man, she's just tripping. I'm nowhere near as bad as my mom. I was like, oh. Just because you're a better version of the beast, does that mean you still need to be the beast? Because they don't hit. All right, here we go. I've heard people say, I love Proverbs. It has 31 chapters. Therefore, we can read a chapter for every day of any month. Oh, man, we about to get into... I can't wait to get through Numbers, y'all. Hopefully, what is it? Deuteronomy next. Let's see. What comes next after Numbers? I remember you wasn't doing nothing unless you could memorize the order of the books of the Bible. You ain't gotta memorize the actual Bible. Just memorize the books of the Bible. You see the craziness stuff that we value? Deuteronomy's next. Hopefully Deuteronomy gives us something different than these past 3 chapters done gave us. Public reading of the law. The Song of Moses. Israel rebels predicted. The Festival of Weeks. I think it's going to be more, y'all. Ooh, Deuteronomy. Yep. Joshua. The Fall of Jericho. All right, we might have something in... we might have to get to 180. Joshua starts on 181. We might have to make it to page 181 before it gets good. Anyway, that's Bible study. Bible Wars, yeah. I remember I was talking to my son, who is a new Christian, and we were having a conversation. This is when I'm coming into my God realization. Like, everything, the person I am today, and y'all been rocking with me, so I'm not who I was a couple months ago. My conversation, the things that I'm worried about and thinking about are not worried. I'm not worried about anything, but the things that I'm pondering, nothing that I pondered before. But I started coming into my God awareness and understanding, that I am God, that I am actually creating this relationship. Like, my world is my creation. I am co-creator in this reality. So I'm having a conversation with my son because every awakening and ascension that I have, I'm excited about it, right? So I'm talking to him because he's super Christian. And when he's talking to me, I guess he's referring to things that happen in the Bible. And at the end of our conversation, or maybe not at the end of our conversation, but another conversation, he's throwing back in my face where he's just like, well, I quoted 3 popular Bible scriptures and you didn't know what they were, so I already know what that already tells me everything I need to know about you and your relationship with God. And I was like, oh, okay. So there's different ways that we can play this, right? First, he's gonna bump up against me. Who are you to tell me about my relationship with God? Because there's a difference between relationship, which I have and you don't. I actually know God. But yeah, I'm gonna be petty first. I'm working on not being petty first, but at this point, I'm gonna be petty first. So I have relationship with God. I have a true knowing of who God is in me. It's the God in me. Yes, I know that. But after he was done coming for my head, understand anybody that's delivering a message, just because they don't have the skill level to deliver the message does not mean that they are not delivering a message. For that little man to be like, I already know what that says about you. I was like, oh, what does that say about me? So you think that you're better than me and your relationship with God is better than me? Then guess what? I'm going to read this and I'm going to one-up you because I'm going to know everything in this book and I'm going to be able to use it. What you going to do? What you going to do? Live your life according to what it says in this book, and we already know that this book is a mind control whole I don't want to say the F word with the Bible in my hand, but it's a mind. So yeah, I asked God when he first came here, I was just like, why in the midst of my spiritual awakening did you move super C-word into my house? Like, this is weird. Now I understand. Well, I don't understand, but I know it's not for us to bump up against each other. So yeah, the way that he said that messed me up, but this is the second time that I have committed to reading the Bible. The first time I committed to reading the Bible, I didn't make it past Genesis. Did I actually read the Bible? No, I was listening to the Bible. I was listening to the Bible at that time, but I didn't get past listening to Genesis, and I kept falling asleep during it. So I was just like, I'll get it through osmosis, But this time God told me. It wasn't pride, it wasn't ego, it wasn't an F you to him. It was God told me to read the Bible. And we're in Numbers. We made it to Numbers. Like, this is the furthest I have made it in the Old Testament without quitting, because this is boring, right? Who begat who? The clans of who? Who carrying the piece of... Who got the doorknobs to the tabernacle? Who got the doorknobs? Come on, we need to put the doorknobs on the tabernacle. It's boring, right? And so it is what it is. We have to be our children's first friend, not one of their little friends. My kids can't come up to me like, bruh, no, I'm not your bruh, But what is friendship really? If we stop looking at one of their little friends, yes, you can't kick it with me, which me and Bailey kick it. Like, that's my best friend. I am one of her little friends pretty much, because I'm the only one that she can relate to. Like, I've raised her, I've elevated her to the point where it's been difficult for her to, hey, Miss Tay, it's difficult for her to hang around lower rung people. Low hanging fruit. I'm not raising my children to be low hanging fruit, easily accessible people. I'm also, but in that, it's lonely at the top. People think it's lonely at the top because of money. No, it's lonely at the top when you elevate yourself to where you can't even communicate with the majority of the population, because yes, we're all speaking English, but we're all saying something different because language is coded. And the people you're talking to can't even comprehend what you're talking about. it's lonely at the top. That's why I always encourage you guys, get to know each other in these comments, because we all we got. Who you gonna talk to? I have elevated Bailey, and I remember she was probably in middle school. I've been working on my kids their whole life, right? Knowing unknown. But I remember in middle school, I used to, every once in a while, I would pop in and talk to Bailey how I like to talk. And she would just totally miss the mark. And I remember thinking, man, I can't wait till you can understand me. I remember thinking that. And, you know, that was brought back into my field of awareness, because now she can understand me, and now we can have conversations, and now she can grow me. I groomed her into that space. I use that language in front of Angel. She's like, whoa, we're grooming? They put such a negative connotation on that word, but I created and shaped her mind and her spirit so that she's able to communicate with me. And it was a process. I've been on Bailey since she was I've been on her whole life, but I remember thinking,
you with the Paw Patrol toy?
No, I don't have a Paw Patrol toy.
Yeah, but you would buy one.
I can buy one with your 6 coins. Here, put this on your lips. Whenever your lips feel like that, you should put some chapstick on it, okay?
I'm starving.
Well, you're gonna be starving for the next 3 days. Stop focusing on the fact that you're hungry. I said stop focus on the fact that you're hungry.
Why he don't like that?
I don't know why your father talks like that. Did he have something in his mouth? You should ask him questions about him instead of asking me. Go ask your father why he's speaking like that. I can only guess, but he can actually answer your question.
Well, I thought they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought they should.
Okay.
Dad, you always be bad to love. You always don't love to be bad.
Thank you.
All right.
Be back though, don't
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to be your kid's friend, because you have to teach your child what authentic friendship looks like. And if you don't know what authentic friendship looks like, cover your mouth. Like, for real? Shut my door. I don't want to hear Paw Patrol. Shut my door. You have to teach your child what authentic friendship looks like, because our definition of friendship present is this. There's barriers between us. There's things between us. We can't get closer to each other because we're not teaching people how to communicate with us. You're also teaching your child how to set their boundaries. I sat down with Ion, if Ion's still on here, and Ion was just like, what does friendship look like for you? I was like, that's a beautiful question.
What's this stuff, man?
I haven't ordered anything, so I don't know. But, yeah. And so Ion said, what does friendship look like to you? I was like, that's a beautiful question, because if we sit down and talk about what friendship looks to us, we can decide if this is something that we can build upon. And those of you who are worried about, well, if I tell somebody what I'm expecting out of them, then they can manipulate and they become what? Can you please shut my door? Then they can manipulate and come into a space of becoming that. I don't know. Whose name is on it?
It's my name on it.
Okay, well, I don't know. Is this why Amazon charged me $10? What is this?
I don't know what that is. That's some lingerie.
Let's find out what the bound chicken wow wow done showed up. What the heck? What is this? Oh my goodness.
This is what you doing?
This ain't what I'm doing.
Oh no. That ain't for me. I mean,
I don't know where this came from.
what is going on with you?
This ain't me. And if I were to order this without you knowing, why would I put your name on it?
I think that
You don't touch it. I feel like this is something you shouldn't have your hands on.
Yeah, it's still form fit.
It looks like mine, but
It's a size medium. This just don't seem like something that Bailey would order.
What's this?
I don't know. Well, now I'm curious. It's in a black box with no name on it. Don't open it up. I'm trying to see now. We trying to see what's in the box. Hey, Pat, how you doing? Some flim flarm done came into the house, and we trying to figure out what it is.
What's this shit?
Let me see. What the hell?
That's a toy.
This is... Who ordered this?
that's mine.
Angel didn't order this, did she?
I did all of it.
Come on, man. I'm out.
I did.
Get your girl.
I did.
Get your girl.
Tell Bailey to come here.
Bailey!
This
Bailey!
is just a toy. Is it a remote?
And it comes with a user manual.
Oh,
Go shut my door. Where you go? You should not be touching this. Go on, get some business.
I think it is
As soon as you get on my lives, I get blocked. App connection. Thank you for shopping our store. We hope you enjoy your purchase. We provide a warranty of 12 months for return. Product information. I'm so confused. Send that to me. I'm gonna send it to somebody because it don't belong in this house. I mean, I might find some good use of it, but whoever ordered it,
that was Angel.
it was Angel?
Yeah.
I believe it. But why would you... Thank you. Go on, get some business.
I thought dipping you did.
Joke away, friend. I don't even know what to do with my life. Let's go into the Amazon account and see what's going on. Because sometimes they send, but these things are too on theme in order for them to both be accidentally sent here. Amazon.com. See? Things is going on. Hold on. So the Amazon that's on here is for your security, we sent your email. I don't have access to that email, so she can't even log on to this one. So how did she gain access to Amazon? It had to be through my phone. And it has my husband's name on it, so it's not a miss.
It has my name on.
Oh, you missed the first surprise. Well, don't you worry. It's still here. She didn't even color theme it. Man, I don't know who it was. But, you know, Bailey's cassava melons ain't fitting through there. You know, so now we got to think. Who's the size medium?
That my medium.
It's your size medium?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you ordered this either. So you got the little back out action, the booty out action, got the crotchless, like, yeah, this is okay. Let's not say it was Angel just yet. Give grace. I don't know. It just doesn't seem smart.
I don't wear that.
Why would you have your dad's name put on something like this? We know that it was intentionally purchased. And we know that these things coincide, so it wasn't like I accidentally, like, Valentine's for who, Regina? Valentine's for who? Is your adult son buying for... Oh, is your adult son buying for your girl? His girl. But she lives in California. Why wouldn't he have it sent to her in California? Oh, we're gonna get to the bottom of this. Y'all just happen to be present for the unboxing. Are they namesake, father and son? Yes, they're both Andre Appleton. They're both Andre Appleton. It might be Junior. Okay, it might be Junior. She's coming to visit him, duh. This is hilarious. Don't tell on the side chick. Oh, there's a side chick. Oh, Lord. The plot thickens. Please go get some business. Because now you're doing things to be disruptive, and I don't like that behavior. So please go. Please go. Thank you. That's okay. It's okay.
It's not.
However you process it.
Make me mad.
I don't agree with you telling me that I've upset you and made you mad, but if that's the energy you want to move in it on the other side of my door. Please go. That's fine. Please go. I don't want to raise my voice at you. Kaden! Shut my door all the way. How I lose the... Oh, there's the remote. This is too much. All right, yeah, because you said his girlfriend is triple X. Did I say that? I didn't mean to say that. He getting ready. He saw remote. Poor baby doesn't know better. Oh, he's slamming doors. I'm going to have to go get with him real quick. Oh, I'm going to have to pause this live because he's slamming stuff around, and I'm going to have to let him know that that's not what we do in this household. I don't keep my hands to myself. I'm a tagger kid. About to set the mood. Oh, I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't even know how to continue to talk about friendship after that. Anyway, be your kids' friends. Teach them how to authentically be your friend. And to the point, Bailey will admit that she ordered this for me because Bailey and I have worked through any boundaries between us, right? Angel will sneak. Angel's still in the sneaking energy because we're working to transition from the kid sneaky energy into the just communicate with me. Let me know what you're interested in so I can help you healthily navigate it. She said, I'll tag a kid. I will. We are close friends now. We are intimate now. Yeah. I love this for us, though. I love this for us that we can, we could get a kiki off of each other and laugh with each other and sharing sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? This is authenticity to me. You know what I'm saying? We can hop off live and go do whatever it is that we need to do in our lives. But the fact that we have this community is just so beautiful to me. Let me see. Same with my 11-year-old working on the sneaky stage. Gotta make it lighthearted. Yeah, so we're working on because as a child they did have to sneak, and so I'm trying to create. I'm working, taking the word trying out because I am doing the work. I'm not trying anything. I'm doing. But we are working through the stage. So with my 6-year-old and my 4-year-old, to not even create the energy where they feel that they have to be deceptive. So being their friend and letting them know, I really just want to go snatch his whole face right now because he is acting out and he knows, like, anyway, just create the space where they automatically know that I can come to my mom or my dad and they're not going to make any jokes about it. They're not going to, mock me. They're not going to make me feel ashamed or anything. And we can have, don't come in here. No, because come here. Actually, come here because I'm sick of it. You are out there banging things around, slamming doors, yelling. Is this okay behavior? So then why are you doing it? Hold your head up straight. Then why are you doing it? So why does your anger have to manifest that way? Because what? So is going out there banging stuff around going to get you what you want? Is that going to stop you from being mad? Hold your head up straight and look me in my eye.
No.
Hold your head up straight. Do you understand what straight means?
No.
This is not straight. This is straight. When you talk to people, you hold your head up straight. Do you understand?
Okay.
Stop with the noise. Go sit down and watch your TV. If you call my attention again, I'm coming to get you. Do you want me to come and get you?
No.
Then make your choices so you don't get got. I don't want to hear nothing else. I understand you're upset. Go jump on the trampoline and get that energy up off you. But you acting out like this is a problem for me. It's what? Well, then don't go outside. Go watch your Paw Patrol. Go build with your blocks.
I did.
Okay, well then build again. All I'm saying is stop with the noise or I'm going to come and reach out and touch you. And you don't want me to touch you. Gone. Making that noise is not your best choice. Silently leave my room. Hold your head up straight. Take a nap. It's a beautiful thing. It's my favorite thing to do. My 8 and 11-year-old are sneaky. No food upstairs. I find candy wrappers under their beds. Oh my God. Story of my life too. And it's like, okay, tell me if this is normal now. Every day, it's like a bomb explodes in my 11-year-old's room. I'm just like, how did you clean your room? Like, it was clean to satisfaction. And the bomb went off again. How did this happen? Like, is that normal? And how did I create the space where that's normal? And how do I create the space where it's no longer normal? Because those behaviors are going to be the exact same behaviors that she takes when she becomes a roommate, that she takes when she becomes a spouse, that she takes when she's caring for her home. Like, what is this going to look like? We have to pay attention to those things. And we can't have our kids cleaning up their rooms in resentment. They need to clean up their rooms from a space of pride, so that when they become adults, they're still cleaning their rooms up from a space of pride. I watched this video where this guy was like, he was resetting his house. Every Saturday he resets his house because every Saturday in his mama's house, they reset the house. So that is a behavior that he carried from his mama's home into his own home. So it's not that we aren't creating the next success or failure. There's no failure, but the next success or failure for our children to now go into the world and be functioning adults. But if we're not teaching them how to be functioning adults in every aspect, we can't just raise the one part. We got to raise everything. We got to raise this. We got to raise this. We got to raise this. We got to raise, yes, the sacral, the root. We got to raise it. We have to teach our children to value their bodies. They introduce disease in there. There was a time when you could just fucking and be married. I'm giving this coochie to everybody. Who cares? And I'm wearing my lingerie while I do it. Now you can't do it. Why? Because they introduce disease in. So they're taking us out everywhere they can. So we must raise our children not in the space of being prudes. And this is what I had to tell Bailey. I was like, I had a big emphasis on value your vagina. Like, this is gold, and it is gold. It is gold. Everybody don't get access to that. And you hold on to that until you get what you want out of the deal. That way you don't feel cheated. Right or wrong, that was the philosophy. The philosophy has now grown to, this is the prize. I am the prize. Not just my vagina. I am the prize. You don't even get to share space with me if you're not worthy. You have to be worthy to speak with me because I know the value of the shit I'm saying. I ain't talking, how's your day? What's your favorite position? I'm not there. Go talk to her if that's who you want to talk to. But if you want to talk to me, you're going to have to give me what I want. You're going to have to friend me the way I want to be friended. You're going to have to talk to me the way that I want to be talked to. You're going to have to love me the way that I want to be loved. You're going to have to date me the way that I want to be dated. You're going to have to whatever I want in order to be in my orbit, period. And then this is the motherfucking bonus. And you get this? And association with me is going to grow you anyway, right? So even if you never make it here, you still won. So because I know that that's what I bring to the table, you don't even get to be in my... That's why when that girl, she come around and she ain't got nothing to say, neither do I. Me feeling like I have to carry the conversation, no more. I will sit in silence. I'm okay with silence because now I'm living in my head and I'm just like just living in my head. I ain't got to have no fruitless conversation with you. I'm living in my head. But if you want to have some fruitful conversations, I can grow you through that conversation because we all have value, right? And it's for us to bring that value into that conversation. Bye, Ree. My children just walked in the door, going to make myself available to them for a bit. Good job, Mom. Yeah, my 8-year-old son's room is like that. I don't understand. Okay, they are out. Never mind. These kids gonna go be kids. My kids will sit up underneath me so tough. It's crazy. It's crazy. At any given time, which is beautiful because this used to not be the energy, but any given time, I'll have all 4 of my kids just surrounding me, fighting over who could actually physically touch me. It's a weird space for me, but it's a beautiful space for me. I love that my kids want to be around me. You know what I'm saying? I love that my kids want to talk to me. And yes, my 11-year-old is coming out of the space of being in the kid mentality, and we're raising her up. So that's a part of allowing her to be in the room when we're having conversations, inviting her into those conversations. So if you have older children that you are able to converse with, invite the younger kids into the conversations. Appropriate conversations, right? Y'all know we be having crazy conversations over here. So you determine for your family what's an appropriate conversation. But a way that you start growing those younger mentality ones up is you invite them into the older mentality conversations. And in order for them to hang around y'all, they're going to have to level the fuck up. You want to hang around Mom? You're going to have to talk to Mom this way. I'll talk about what you want to talk about, but we're going to talk about it my way, which levels them up. My boys' share room is going to change around 16. Yeah, my boys share a room right now, and the 25-year-old is sharing the room with them, and he got the nerve to be locking the door on him. I'm like, hey, unfortunately, you share a room with a 6 and a 4-year-old. There's no such thing as privacy. Me and my husband used to share a room with the boys when we had a 2-bedroom, so the girls shared a room, and me and my husband shared a room with the 2 boys. We had to be very creative when we wanted to utilize these types of things. I tell my children that their rooms are their apartments. Yeah, that's smart. I do too. Be right back. I use my 16-year-old as a visual example. He decorates his space and organizes. That's what Bailey does. Her whole room is like a complete vibe, and it's her own personal space, and she does whatever she wants to. She literally has had her own apartment, and she comes and she keeps her stuff in the main refrigerator. But you know, I've talked about, because people keep eating her food, like Bailey is very much not like this family. She would be considered maybe the black sheep, because she moves structured. She moves very differently than what has been demonstrated for her in this family. So she would be the odd man out, because it's just like, you're meal prepping. What the hell you meal prepping for? Oh, bougie ass. You're just go in the kitchen and make a meal. No, you know, so she does things different. So I told her, I was just like, why don't you go buy yourself, we'll get you a refrigerator so you can keep your food in there, since you're the one who actually puts the time and the effort into prepping your food, and then other people just come and eat it. That's rude. And because and that's why we're just like, this family is fake, because if you didn't cook the chicken, why the hell are you eating the chicken? If the family did not eat chicken collectively, that means somebody went in the kitchen and cooked themselves some chicken and they have leftovers. Don't go in because you're hungry and eat their chicken. Where's the respect? And the fact that you don't see that as disrespectful is a problem. So we don't all have the same ethics. We don't all have the same values, yet we're all living in the same space. and we all have to develop the same ethics, and we must all develop the same values for each other so that we can work together. Now, that does not mean that you become the way that I want you to be and I become the way that you want to be. Is so that we find a space that we can work together. What are you looking for? Oh, was this you?
Yeah.
It said Andre Appleton, and your dad opened it. And so, yeah, we were curious.
I know. Wait, was there two or just this one?
It was 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a nice day. It was a 25-year-old. Thank you, Jesus. I got questions, but we don't have the relationship where I can ask them. I'm going to have to put Dre on that one. Because what the fuck? Oh, because it's Valentine's Day. Who the fuck? Oh. Is he going to California? Because they recently broke up. He found out that their whole relationship was a lie. See, I'm finding out secondhand information, and I'm telling y'all because I'm messy, right? This is the mom who finds out the kid's business and is telling her friends the kid's business. Who y'all gonna tell? And so they broke up because pretty much she admitted that everything she said to him, like she told him that she was mixed. She's half black. She half black. He's like, I went out there to meet her daddy. Her daddy ain't a black man. She told him all these things because she was trying to keep him. And so she told him whatever she needed to say to keep him. And she recently came clean, and so they broke up. But now they're talking again. So I don't know, but he's been going out. So I don't know if he's going out on dates. And this is why this is fake. This is fake shit, because I should be able to come to him and be like, so, or he should be like, oh, I went on a date and da-da-da-da. It's not that you got to tell me every detail of your life, but when you have a friendship, you can have conversations, right? And they're not like the least amount of information I could give. You know what I'm saying? It's just a free-flowing conversation because we're friends and we don't have this between us. I don't want this between me and any of my children. I don't want this between me and any of my intimate relationships, which I only have one. But my husband is on this, I'm cheating on him thing, so that's why he's like, oh, this what you on? Because he's like, I'm putting on my little sexy lingerie for somebody else because for some reason I'm being unfaithful to him because I started leaving the house. Oh, Lord, Lonnie left the house. She must be fucking somebody else. Nah, I'm just going and building my life up in according to what I can't get at home. And for 2023, I have begged you, all of 2023, you got to come with me. This is where I'm headed. I can't go backwards. Like, I'm too aware to go backwards. I'm too aware to speak to you the way that I used to speak to you, to allow you to speak to me the way that you used to speak to me. I'm too aware to identify what I identified as love in 2019, 2021, 22. I'm too aware to identify that as love today. But my definition of love isn't perfect. But it's we speak to each other with respect. We don't make jokes on each other's heads. All those things that, kind of meant, we don't do that to each other. So come join me here. So all of 2023, I was begging my husband. I was sharing my spirituality with him. I was sharing myself with him, and he would make me feel like, I was bothering him. 2024, I stopped talking to him. I was like, that's cool. I'm going to go outside and play. You don't want to play with me in the house, I'm going to go outside and play. And so I went and made me some new friends. I've made friends that I could talk to. I made friends that I could hang out with. I made friends who want to move how I want to move. And I know as my husband wakes up and becomes more aware of who he is in self-reflection, growth, whatever the word is, as he continues to come more into himself, he will Oh, there was some sexy lingerie in a bedroom toy. that we thought maybe was yours. We were trying to figure out whose it was.
And then Dre comes over here yelling at me like, dude.
Who yelled at you? Andre or Dre?
I said Dre.
Oh, I wasn't sure. You
But
interchanged the
I
names.
just hate when it's always, one, I'm sleeping. Two, I don't disturb anyone else when they're sleeping. Then it's angry yelling because he's assuming it's mine. Like, dude.
What did he yell at you about?
He just said, hey, your mom wants you. Like, instead of being, your mom wants you.
Oh.
He's clearly amped up because of what he saw.
Well, I
Or
think
either way, he just doesn't know how to just be respectful of other people at all.
Understood. You should communicate that to him when you guys start communicating.
I'll just text him right now.
You tell him, like, I don't appreciate, or
It's fine. I can
whatever
do it.
language. Oh, I don't need to give you the language. Okay. All right. I use my 16-year-old as a visual example. Hold up. What did I do? Facts. Build a bond. Amen. We must build bonds. Our children will not be able to. Hey, Bree! Our children won't be able to navigate without those bonds. They won't know how to build bonds if we weren't their first bond. We don't want their first bond to be out in these streets, right? I know that's right. See, he has plans. He has, and we need to figure out these plans. That clears that up. I was concerned, Vaughn. If these were the things that my 11-year-old were buying, stop being nosy. I am nosy as F. Hey, I love you too, Bree. We've been 25 before. Man, we've been 25. But I never had a man buy me lingerie. I need to know who the lingerie is for. And the toy? What the fuck is going on? And I found his condom the other day because I was in there cleaning up. And it was on the floor. And I was just like, at least he's protecting himself. But, oh my God. These children, having adult kids is overwhelming. Just ask who's it for. My kids know I'm nosy. Man, I'm nosy. I'm going to go through the father. That box doesn't fit anymore. I wish I knew. Heck nah. Shoot, we went together at 25. All right. So here's something to my husband's elevation. He likes to filter his things through Facebook. He trusts his Facebook community. So he posted a little Duvall post that says, you never want to be a woman's first good man. You're going to be the lesson. And let me see. Let me go to his page really quick. He said, damn, he may be right. What y'all think? And I said, you were my first good man. You actually lived it. What do you think? Right? Why do you have to worry about people who may or may not have experience? We can all theorize, right? That's what scientists do. The difference between theory and opinion are two different things, right? You know, you and I, and we can all theorize because that's what we do. We're philosophers. We're thinkers. Like, we can talk about anything, whether we experience it or not. But everybody doesn't have that energy. And we had to work to get to this energy, right? You just don't jump in on this energy. And so you never want to be a woman's first good man. You're going to be the lesson. Which I know what he's saying is just like, if you're a woman's first good man, she's not going to know how to treat you because you're the first man who treats her right. That's why when I posted that video about that lady with the $2,200 worth of child support, and I said that we ain't talking to our men like this no more. Bruh, shut up and let me talk. No, we're not talking to our men like that anymore. Not because he deserves to be talked to a certain way. First of all, you're not even vibrating in the frequency to allow an individual like that to get so close to you that you have a baby with him. Like everybody, yeah, he's a boy. Well, she's a little girl. Can we start admitting that if a little boy made it in, there was a little girl who invited him in? Can we own it? Then we can level ourselves up, right? If we admit any deficit, then we can eliminate the deficit. So I was just like, we need to stop talking to our men like that. And they were like, that's not her husband. That's her baby daddy. I was like, okay, but when is she going to practice talking to a man the way that a man deserves to be talked to? Not all men deserve to be talked to like that. but all men don't deserve to be talked to like this. And then when a good man enters the chat and you popping up on him like this, he's out because he knows what he deserves. So you ran a good man off because you don't know how to talk to him. So we got to practice learning how to talk to each other by becoming your kid's friend. Teaching them how to communicate, how to be a friend, how to work through conflicts. Yeah, that's when you become your kid's friend and they actually trust you and not social media. They actually trust you and not their peers. You know what I'm saying? So for Whoopi to sit up there and like, I didn't become my kid's friend till she was 26. Yeah, she finally made heads or tails to the bullshit you took her through. That was completely unnecessary. But you don't know that because you don't know any other way. Pointing fingers at everyone except yourself will end up with repeating mistakes. That part, Bree. Say that because you conduct yourself as a wife before you become one. Say that, Pat. You have to, especially nowadays. I don't remember what I said, but say that too. All right, so it says, you never want to be a woman's first good man. You're going to be a lesson. So there's so many things that we could pull from that. Well, you don't want to be a woman's first good man because every man is good, right? Because we're raising our sons to be good, well-rounded men. So you're not the first. You're not the anomaly. My husband should not be the diamond in the rough. Be your child's friend. You have to nowadays. Exactly. You have to. You should have always been your kid's friend, in my opinion. My father should have been my friend. Then I would have known what it was like to have an actual conversation with the man. You know, my first conversation with the man shouldn't have been, you want crotchless, tittyless, red or blue. That shouldn't have been my conversation, my first conversation with the man, my husband. My dad could have trained me to know what it's like to talk to a man, what it's like to keep the attention of a man. I thought in order for me to keep the attention of a man, I had to talk about sports or sex. So now all we're talking about are sports, which I'm not interested in, or sex, which is just like, now if we're talking about it, now we got to do it. No, men like to talk about other things, and if my father would have sat down and had a conversation with me, if my mom would have sat down and had conversations with me, she could have taught me how to navigate myself around men. She could have taught me all of these different things. She could have taught me how to be a friend. She could have taught me all of these things by simply talking to me. Yes, healthy communication and bonding is learned. Amen. So, all right, we're going to get to this message between me and my husband. You never want to be a woman's first good man. You're going to be the lesson. My husband posted this and said, damn, he might be right. What y'all think? And then I responded, hold up. Oh, shit, what am I doing? Oh, what did I do? I responded, how do I open that up? Okay, here we go. You were my first good man. You actually lived it. What do you think? And then my husband says, it goes to say, when you was trying to make me your case study all the time, I see why you were doing that, because I was the level you were experimenting from. That was actually, he said something there, right? He actually said something there. So he's starting to open up. You know what I'm saying? Because before he wouldn't even posted that, or he would have posted it from this space. But now he's posting it from, he's making the connection from the point of, okay, so the cogs are starting to move. If we're not using our brains, those thinking cogs they're calcified and they're atrophied and they're weak and they don't know how to move. So first you must break through the calcification, and then you have to build up the muscle to actually start thinking and processing and seeing what's going on. So he's starting to think, and so his response actually made me proud of him, because, can you go? He was just like, he always used to say, I'm not one of your patients. I'm not one of your clients. Stop trying to make me one of your case studies. And I was like, no. If I am a healthy family advocate and I'm advocating for the restructuring of our families, the first family I must restructure is my own, right? So it's not me practicing on you. It's me healing my family, which is my life work. My life work isn't for me to go out and go get a degree somewhere and then practice the philosophy that I learned. No, my life work is to actually heal my family, demonstrate that it's possible so that you now can heal your own. And so he fought me so long, all of 2023. I'm not one of your clients. I'm not one of your patients. Stop trying to change me. So now his response to me is, I see what you were doing.
Mommy, my teeth hurt.
Okay, go brush your teeth. And so in that, hold on. Yeah, okay. I was just having that conversation. Had I known, I would have had more male friends versus exes. Exactly. We're all friends. Like, we don't need to date someone just because it's a vibe. And something that I learned from that was Coco. Y'all know Coco from the community. When I was having that emotional cheating situation, I was just like, but all these feelings that I'm feeling for this person, if this was a man, I would feel are inappropriate. Like, I can't be your friend because I'm connecting with you on such a level. But because it's a female, it woke me up to the fact that this intense connection that we feel with people isn't, okay, let's go hop in the bed. This intense connection we are feeling with people is because this person is a teacher in this life, and we are being magnetically drawn to each other in order for whatever message needs to be delivered. And after that message is delivered, you'll notice that magnetism, we start repelling each other. And then that's why we have so many enemies, or used to be friends, because, well, we need to, mission accomplished, yes. We need to understand that everybody is going to flow in and out of our life, You know, there's a lot of people, and Vaughn's been around for a while. Vaughn's like an OG, Ree's an OG, you know. So you guys remember, there's a lot of people who used to rock with me who don't rock with me no more. For whatever reason, doesn't matter. But it's because they came in, we accomplished whatever it was we were supposed to accomplish, and then we went off in our directions. You know what I'm saying? And there's no bitterness there. There's nothing there except for when I see him, I say, hey, boo, hey, it's been a while. But because we don't know what friendship truly is, friendship isn't lifetime. Friendship is contingent on what is happening in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say this in an energy that sounds like we're using people, because that's not what it is. Where I truly learned about friendship, I learned about the connection and teachers coming into your life to teach you something through Coco, because that was extremely intense with Coco. And then we were done. Now, me and Coco, we see each other in the streets. She'd be like, hey, girl, how you doing? How the children? How the husband? And then we go about our business. Me and Coco had to set timers to break away from each other. That's how deep we were into each other in the time that we plugged into each other, like, we were just soaking up game from each other, right? And then when it was over, it was over. But when I learned about friendship was in Jamaica. Because when we were in Jamaica, we went on a tour, and the people that we went on the tour with, when we first got on the bus, you know, and I mentioned it in the books, just go watch the Jamaica videos. I talk about it there in the videos subsequently after that. So, but just giving a summary, you know, when we got on the bus, everybody was, you know, minding their business. You know, me and Dre being me and Dre. So, you know, we gonna party regardless. And the people on the back of the bus were on our vibe. And so we all, yes, I talked about it before. You know, we all got together and we started communing and becoming a family and being friends. Like, now, typically what I would have done was like, oh no, when we get back stateside, we need to try to connect or get on social media and be friends or whatever. You know, that was past energy. This energy, I woke up to the fact that, yo, we literally became a family out here in Jamaica on this trip in these woods. And as soon as that ended, they went their way and I went that way. And for me, that's what woke me up to friendship. That friendship is case by case.
You can finish what you're saying and read it. That friendship is case by case.
Friendship is case by case, moment to moment. And to try to make it last any more than that is when you become frenemies. because you're trying to be friends, but I really don't want to. But I feel forced to because you're my friend. But if you can admit the season is friendship isn't ownership, free flowing, exactly. And when you can admit that it's just free flowing, people are gonna come in and out, and we can vibe, and it is what it is. Then that's the beauty of friendship, not the ownership of friendship. Okay, we've been friends since kindergarten. Some of you guys are claiming friendship simply so you can say that you've had a lifelong friend. You don't even like that person no more. But when it's time to, post on Facebook, my oldest friend is from kindergarten, you all proud, and that's a pride point. All right.
It's already open.
I was calling about...
Not that part.
Okay.
Today.
Please, can I read it out loud?
Why?
Because I was just going to read. If you want me to read it silently, I can. I was just asking.
Well, go ahead.
Me to get my attention, I could easily watch how your pieces attention. But when you do, I was just so kind of thinking something because I was leaving out the door at the time. It's conjuring, I won't be needing your attention for anything else. I won't be able to. All right, so back to Dre. Did you want me to have a response to that, or just make me aware of it?
It doesn't matter. If you don't have a response, then there's no response.
Oh, I do have a response, but
What is it?
you wanted me to read it silently, so I don't.
It just seemed like when you were asking, can I read it out loud? It seemed like you were trying to make like a, okay, guys, someone had a question. Like,
No, I was trying to make it as I'm on live and you want to draw my attention so that people aren't seeing me have a side conversation. They could be a part of the conversation, but if you choose for them not to, I read it in my head, or I read it the way that I did. But at the end of the day, there's zero accountability there, and it's the ultimatum. Fine, if I can't do it my way, then I don't want to do it at all. So that's that energy. So he didn't understand anything you said. He just got offended by what you said instead of saying, I understand what you're saying. In this particular case, I was walking out the door, and so I just yelled at you, but I understand what you're saying. I'll be mindful of it in the future. That would have been a response that let you know where he was coming from, because he wasn't yelling. He literally was going to catch his Uber, but he was, getting your attention for me. So he, as he walked by, he said, Bailey, your mom wants you, or whatever he said. So he's making you aware that that's what was happening. It wasn't me yelling at you. That's what was happening. But I understand what you're saying. I'll be mindful of that in the future. So not only is he making you aware of his actions, but he's also letting you know, I hear you, so that I will change your behavior that you don't align with.
but at the same time, he doesn't want to do that.
He doesn't know to do that.
But
His awareness isn't at your awareness level.
it's unfortunate. Why do I have to walk him through this? I already said what I have to say.
You don't have to say
And
nothing
he
else to
already gave
him.
a reaction. So why am I trying to decipher what his reaction is if he already gave me the reaction that he wants me to have?
Because his reaction is based in his limited perspective, or his current field of awareness, so I could speak in the positive.
But I'm thinking beyond just Dre, because okay, someone else texts me, then I get a response like that. Why am I trying to decipher their feelings when they're not able to speak for themselves at all?
Because if you value the relationship, at the end of the day, if you do not value the relationship, you do not put any mental space into it. Give it zero energy. They don't know how to talk to you. Moving on. If you do value the relationship, then you have to be able to use your spirit of discernment and pick up what they're saying. Because they don't have the language. They only know how to communicate how they've been communicated to, and they only know how to communicate based on what they've observed. You know what I'm saying? And so if someone is saying, because pretty much what he's saying is, I was walking out the door, I didn't mean no harm, is what he's saying. But he doesn't know how to be vulnerable. He doesn't know how, that's feminine energy. He doesn't know how to show that vulnerability. So instead, he's going to nut up against it, double down in his masculine energy, and say, don't worry about it, I won't talk to you no more, which is stupid. He's going to have to talk to you again. So for him to even say that is dumb. But that's the culture. That's how we talk. That's how we treat each other. So if you value the relationship, you just know what the person is doing is based off a habit. It's based on, this is how they know how to move. So you give them grace. Now you choose how often you give them grace. Because if you've communicated your standards and what it looks like to be in your orbit and they can't get with it, you've given corrective action and they can't seem to pick it up, they gotta go. We don't have time to raise nobody. You know what I'm saying?
So bring that back to this situation. I don't have time to raise him. I already communicated my feelings, and there's no response to that.
Exactly. So you're gonna bump up against that again, which, because you live in the same house as him, you're going to bump up against again, and you're going to communicate your feelings in that case. You know what I'm saying? So either you can choose to sit down and say, okay, Dre, I would like to actually have a conversation with you for a basis of understanding. I want you to understand me, and I want to understand you. You are going to have to be the person to initiate that conversation because he does not have the awareness to initiate the conversation. He may have the awareness to be able to sit down and have the conversation, but he may not have the awareness to initiate it. So you will have to initiate that. And when you sit down, now you're speaking from, okay, this is what my experience is, and these are my expectations. And now he can speak from his experience and his expectations, and now you can build a basis of understanding between you. Until you do that, you're going to keep having this, and you're going to just keep communicating your expectations. He's ultimately going to catch on, but it's in his time. You can raise him, or you can let him do it in his time. He's capable of catching on. He's just not there yet. All right, so here we go. So we were, okay, and then he said, all right, so starting over, you never want to be a woman's first good man. You're going to be the lesson. I say, you were my first good man. You actually lived it. What do you think? And he said, it goes to say, when you were trying to make me your case study all the time, I see why you were doing that, because I was the level you were experimenting from, right? So he was the good man. He was the standard of a good man. And now that I've been healing through it, like, he gave me a basis to start loving myself and then come into the space of, okay, this isn't what love looks like today. You know, but he had to give me the space to actually start loving myself. So kudos to my husband, because no man before him actually gave me the freedom to be able to move into self-love. Do you understand that you potentially have surrounded yourself with a life that won't even allow you the space to come into knowing yourself? How many of you guys are with men? They're like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And then when we look at our kids, and we're looking at our kids. Why are you saying that? Why are you doing that? Why are you wearing that? I want you to talk this way. I want you to read this. I want you to go to this school. I want you to do this. These are your friends. When we're dictating all these different things, we are cutting our child off from utilizing their spirit of discernment. We are cutting our children off from developing their own personality and personal choice. And we are cutting ourselves off from the ability to guide our children through it. So we have to pay attention to that. When in our controlling ways, we are literally cutting our children off, and they must break free of us. That's why some of our kids don't talk to us anymore once they're grown, because they must break free of us to actually come into their own identity. And the key is, if you become your child's friend while they're still in your house, they never have to break free of you, because you've allowed them to come into their own with you, and you can guide them. That is why you want to be your kid's friend as soon as possible. And you have to come into, like I'm going through it with my 11-year-old, where it's just like, I'm sorry, this lingerie is messing my head up. But, you know, I'm coming into this with my 11-year-old, where I have to walk back the space of deception. I have to walk back all the energies that was created because I was so judgmental of her and saying all these different things and telling her, do right, do better, do right, do better. What the heck does that mean? So I have to walk all that back from a kid who has looked at me as her enemy, but I'm the only thing she has, to now, it's okay to trust me. She's like, I don't want to trust you, because when I trusted you, when I was trusting, you weren't trustworthy. And now you're telling me you're trustworthy, but I don't know. So that's what you have to walk through, and that's what I have to walk back. Don't wait until your kid is an adult and they pick up their book and they're like, okay, how do I raise a kid? Well, all the pages are blank. So let me go back to the pages that actually have some words, which is my history and my past. So I'm going to raise my kid based off of my history and my past instead of figuring out how I can write my own story. Raise your kids so that they know how to write their own story. And you do that because they trust you, and you do that because you taught them free choice, free will, and you taught them how to make free choice, free will, how to use their spirit of discernment, how to go through. She's sitting here bumping up against her stepfather, but she's like, going forward, how do I use these skills in life? I teach my kids all the time. I'm talking to you because this is the situation that was presented to us, but this is what's teaching you life skills. So I'm not teaching you how to communicate with your stepfather, or just teaching you how to communicate with your stepfather. I'm teaching you how to communicate to men. I'm teaching you how to communicate with people who are older than you and who think they're smarter than you just because they're older than you. I'm teaching you how to communicate with other humans. I'm teaching you how to come into knowing how to decipher and read between the lines and what people are saying within the limitations of their vocabulary. I'm teaching so many things besides just tell them this. You understand? Every moment is a teachable moment. Do not take it for granted because you don't necessarily have the next second to teach. You don't. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. All right. So after he said he understands what I was doing, I said yes, because in the past, when he would say something and he wouldn't give the response that I wanted, I'd be like, well, that's not what I meant. Now, it doesn't matter if he, by me saying that's not what I meant, I am saying that he's wrong, because that's the way he's filtering it. Doesn't matter if that's not what I meant, doesn't mean that I'm saying you're wrong. It's just saying that's not what I meant. You need additional points in order to get to the point that I'm making. But when someone is filtering your messages through a negative lens and you say that's not what I meant, they will receive it as you're telling me I'm wrong. So I don't say that's not what I meant. I say, okay, I understand that. But so now I'm adding more additional details. I don't know if but is a good word, but this is the word I'm using. I'm teaching myself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know effective communication skills. What they teach as effective communication skills in school aren't effective communication skills. They're not. Anything they teach you in school is just to rope you deeper into the confinements and of your brain. So what they teach you as isn't it. We're teaching ourselves. That's what this content's all about. So I say, yes, but you are not my case study. You are my life. I cannot improve my marriage without you. I cannot become a better wife without you. We cannot truly become us without both of us doing the work. So yes, you may feel like I'm using you as a case study, but my life is the lesson I am learning, and you are in my life. So I am validating what he's saying, but I'm also going to point him in the direction that I want him to go. And by saying that's not what I meant, you are invalidating what the person said. And some people aren't at the capacity to where they can receive that and still receive what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So you have to handle people with kid gloves, but also raise your children in the energy to where, they can take the feedback. But in the case of your spouses, they can't necessarily take the feedback because they've never received the feedback. You've never delivered the feedback. I've contradicted my husband for 13 years. And now I'm actively working with him to build unification in our home, but he doesn't know how to build unification because he's never been in a home that's united. It's always been a dictatorship. It's always been a shrink yourself to survive. It's always been my opinion doesn't matter. So this is the first time where someone's coming at him and saying, hey, we need to grow together. But in order for us to grow together, you have to grow up to where we can actually build together. We can't even build together until you understand that we're not building together. My husband is under the disillusion that we built this together. No, we didn't. You financed it, and I said what we're doing. No, we need to build together going forward. You can still finance it. No. I'm on my way to being a billionaire. But, yeah, he's taken a more prominent position in our family. But he has to first awaken to the fact that he does not have a prominent position in our family. Thank you, Chrissy Mo. Chrissy Mo. Chrissy Moo. Thank you, Chrissy. I was talking to my daughter yesterday about this little boy, and she was telling me about how in junior high, he pretty much was talking about their business to other people.
Not junior high, it was high school.
High school, sorry. She met him in junior high. But he was talking about their business in high school to other people. And so one day, Bailey's sitting in class, and she's talking to a mutual friend, and she's like, she just got to tell somebody. So she tells him, and he's like, I know. And she's like, oh, so old boy already told you. All right, so boom, backstory. Now she's talking to this guy present day, and what happened? Okay, I'm trying to remember because there was a point.
I don't know where you're trying to go with this, so I don't know. What happened is.
Just a story. You're talking to him present day, and he says he doesn't give off that energy, but what were the circumstances for him to say that?
Because I saw the kids viewing my TikTok.
Okay. Yeah, so she's talking to this guy present day, and she said, she sees all these people from high school viewing her TikTok all of a sudden out of the blue, which triggers in her brain. And I'm just like, this is intuition. Don't question your first feeling. Your first feeling is your intuition. Now you got to refine it some, but let's throw out the window. If I feel a kind of way that what you're feeling isn't real, what you're feeling is real. Anyway, so she goes to the boy and she's like, hey, have you been talking about me? Because all these people from high school are viewing my TikTok. And the boy is like, I don't even know why you would say something like that to me. I don't even move in that kind of energy. And I was like, well, actually, you do move in that energy. You're just unaware that you move in that energy. Because in high school, you were talking about me to other people. And I know this to be true because when I said something, the people said, we already know, which means you do move in that energy. You do talk about me. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I tell that story is to make the point that people are unaware of the energy that they're moving in. And even when you bring it to their attention, they may not even become aware until they're in the space of understanding that we are mirrors for each other. We are mirroring each other back to each other. We are mirroring growth potential back to each other. So when someone gives you feedback on something, or if somebody comes to you and they're like, yo, did you do this? Clearly, and this is someone that you've been around since middle school, clearly at some point, okay, I'm going to make this point and then I'm going to make the other point. At some point, you have demonstrated the capability to move in this energy. So that is just a self-reflection point because you are surrounding yourself with people who are mirrors to you. Now, the other side of that Spirit just reminded me of is just because somebody comes to you on some BS don't mean you need to internalize it. Because right now my husband is accusing me of infidelity and accusing me of, being groomed to cheat on him and all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like, I have not shown you one chink in my armor ever. So for you to come at me like this, is that based off of something that I have done, or is it based off of your insecurity? Hey, Ree. This is based off of your insecurity. So just because someone comes with you, this is how you use your spirit of discernment. Is this person giving me feedback so that I can heal through something? Or is this person projecting on me? But also know everybody's not projecting. There's growth opportunities there. So for my husband to come to me on the infidelity stuff, yes, he's projecting. Those are his insecurities that he needs to deal with. He's not measuring up to his measurement of what he believes the quality and value of man that I deserve and desire in this lifetime. He knows that he's not that man. So instead of doing the internal work to heal himself and become that man, he is going to project on me and tell me that I'm doing something. But also, the growth opportunity, if everything is an opportunity to learn something, for me, what am I doing, or what energy or environment am I creating to where my husband feels that I would step out of this relationship? What is missing? What can I step up more? Okay, I can be more affectionate. I can be more touchy-feely and those types of things, but also the energy that we're in, I must hit reset. I am breaking a cycle in our relationship, which means my husband does something I don't like. We separate. When you're not dating and you're not married, you can stop talking to each other completely. When you live in the same house, you just stop talking to each other for a little bit. But then you go back to the same stuff and then you clash against each other. I am in the midst of breaking that cycle, which means in breaking that cycle, I have to be extreme in my actions. So it's no coincidence. I don't know what God's plan is, but it's no coincidence that this breaking of the cycle, which calls for me, again, I am making this up as I go. There's no guidebook. But in order for me to break this cycle, I must separate from my husband. And so in that separation, he doesn't get the privilege of talking to me, because remember I said this is a gift. This is the grand prize. This is the gift. So you don't even get access to this. You know what I'm saying? You get bare minimum, because you're giving me what I feel is bare minimum, which may be all you have to give, but I understand that you've taken yourself to bare minimum. Most of our men have taken themselves to bare minimum, barely able to hold a conversation, unless it's about cars or sports or politics or something that doesn't fucking matter. I want to talk about moving this family forward. I want to talk about healing yourself. My husband's going on a 3-day fast right now because he wants to start healing himself. He was like, I wonder if I could heal some things going on in my body. I was like, there's a book on the dresser right there called You Could Heal Your Life by Louise Hayes. You should read it. You can actually heal yourself. Here's some tools. That book is still sitting on the dresser. So he's doing a piece of the healing process, but you have to understand you can heal yourself, but you have to heal yourself. You have to heal yourself. Simply because you remove food, yes, that's going to get the toxins out of your body, but you have to understand that this is a toxic place. This is a toxic place. This is a toxic place. Every single chakra point is a toxic place that you are holding things that are making you sick, that are keeping you stuck. So just because you start fasting, but you're not doing the healing work all over, you ain't gonna get lasting results. But he's not open to me being a teacher of his yet. But I told him I'm not talking to you unless I could talk to you the way that I talk to you. So we ain't talking. But, I have to discern, okay, yes, he's communicating to me that he feels that I am giving my time and attention to other people, which I am. And I told him I tried for an entire year to get you to be my friend, and you didn't want to be my friend. So I went and made other friends. He's jealous of Bailey because Bailey's my new friend, because I laugh and kiki with Bailey. He doesn't know he's jealous. He won't admit that he's jealous of Bailey. But when he was, giving me a piece of his mind, and he was just like, and you spending all this time with Bailey. Yeah, because she took your best friend. Why? Because Bailey can actually have a conversation with me. You don't want to have a conversation with me. You want to stay stuck. I'm not staying stuck. And I told him, I was just like, if you knew that you fighting against change was you actually fighting progress, would you stop? I'm not fighting progress. Change is progress, and you're fighting change, therefore you are fighting progress. If you don't want to be on the other side or the wrong side of history, you might want to get on board, buddy, because I'm taking this family to the next level. And so, you have to, I don't know, be your kids' friends. Come to a space where you can actually openly communicate with your spouse. Realize that your spouse is actually looking at you as an enemy. But how do you get your spouse to wake up to realize that they're looking at you as an enemy? This is why they say you can't trigger someone else's ascension. Because I can see Dre for who he is all day, but as long as until he sees himself for who he is, there's no progress. And so, boom, thank you. Talked myself back to my point. Yes, his insecurity is being triggered by something, which means there's something that I can do better to make him feel more secure in this relationship. But it's not for me to pacify his insecurity. It's for him to work through that. But if everything is moving the way that everything needs to be moved, there are some things that I can do more to show up for him. Also through him communicating to me what he needs more of. And to not do more of it my way, but to do it his way. He's like, you need to touch me more. Okay, touch. Oh, you need something different? What does that look like? So him letting me know what he needs the way that he needs it. Being able to communicate that and feeling, comfortable in that space. But also we're in the midst of a reprogramming and a restructuring, so I have to stand my ground. I can't break whatever they call it when you're standing. You know who I haven't seen in a while? I haven't seen Casper. You're holding your wall. You're holding your line. You can't drop it. You have to stand strong no matter how bad it gets. They throwing rocks at you and spitting at you and all those different things, and you got to hold your line. You can't break formation. And eventually they'll fall in line. So it's no coincidence that my husband is dealing with this energy at the exact same time that I literally am pulling away from him in every single way. Because he has to reset. In order to save my marriage, if he survives it, I'll survive it. Because I know what I'm doing and I've communicated with him what I'm doing. I was like, I'm freezing you out until you move the way I want you to move. Period. You get no access to me. Until I get what I want, you don't get what you want. So he's very much aware of what's going on. And he's doing the work. He's doing it in his way. And as long as he's doing the work, I give him grace. So those of you who out there who are restructuring and reprogramming, reparenting, everything in your life, just keep going back to the drawing board. And this is why, you got to have a solid foundation. I actually love my husband. He's the first person outside of my children that I've loved. And I know that I love him because no matter what we've been through, I'm still here. There's not really another person on this earth outside of my children where I'll go through shit with. Not even my daddy. Nobody in my family. I'll stop talking to all them people in a second. But I actually want and value the people who live under this roof. Does Dre know that? I don't know what Dre knows.
He's like on some type of meathead or something.
I don't know what Dre knows. He knows that I'm here. I've definitely expressed vulnerability to him all the time. I'm always vulnerable to him and telling him how much I value him. But the thing is, he feels like he's a good guy. And because he feels like he's a good, hot guy, he thinks that I'm coming from a space of saying he's a bad guy. No. What I'm saying is there's another way of doing things. I'm a great mother, but I know I can be better, right? I think I'm a great wife, but I could always be better, right? So just because someone's giving you feedback doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means that, hey, let's try something different. And if I've never communicated to you in the first place what my expectations in this situation are, then that's a good place to start. Dre's back home.
Batten down the hatches.
No, I'm going to say it, or y'all
We're
going to
supposed
have
to be
y'all's
calling the
conversation.
doctor.
I know we're calling the doctor. You just now came in here, so we
I've
can
been
call
here
the doctor.
for like 40 minutes.
I know. I've been talking. I just finished. I'm finished.
I'm just letting you know, like, this is why I thought you were calling me, but then Andre's lingerie. I don't care about Andre's lingerie.
Are you watching
Yeah.
this little boy on loop?
No, just right now.
Aww, that's all right.
Yeah.
You can live in that energy. Don't fixate on him, though.
I don't think it's fixating. I just think,
I'm not telling you you are. I'm just,
right?
it can move to that space. So I'm just bringing that into your awareness that it can happen.
No.
But there's nothing wrong with, reminiscing on the good times. All right, y'all. I think we talked about friendship. I think we talked about some good things about how to, if you're an adult woman or man, I'm talking to my peers, or if you are an adult woman and you want to start establishing friendships, truly look at what friendship looks like for you. And also, bonus, if you have a daughter, be her friend. Bonus, if you have a son, be his friend. Because now you're teaching your son that he can be friends with the opposite sex and not stick his little thing in her. Boys don't know how to be friends with women because the first females that they were friends with were females they were trying to screw. And when they tried to have friends of the opposite sex, our parents were like, no, you can't have friends of the opposite sex. When Michael came home and was like, he has a little girlfriend because society told him that, I let him go on play dates. I let him hang out because he needs to get used to being around the opposite sex without it being something. He needs to be able to hang around the opposite sex and understanding that we actually do have things in common. Before society said men and women don't have anything in common, they were just little kids who liked to play in the dirt together, who liked to climb, who liked to. Until they were like, we must now objectify the man and we must objectify the woman. Therefore, you guys have nothing in common unless you're coming together to do the thing. So allow your children to have friends of the opposite gender and you be your child's friend. And they will teach you how to be a genuine friend because we're not being a friend with our child from here. We're knocking those down. What do I need to do to trust for you to trust me? What do I need to do to da-da-da? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? And then they'll come to you and be like, what do I need to do? And what do I need to do? And what do I need to do? And you guys start building a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I know it's possible because I built it with Bailey. And I'm building it with the rest of my family. It's just that we got to walk some things back. It's a slingshot. Before you can go forward, you got to bring that baby back. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Thank you for coming and hanging with me. See you tomorrow. We'll have Bible study at noon. Have Mountain Standard Time. Have a great day. Bye, Ree.